वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Guys, could I just ask you move a little bit forward, as there's not many of us today. Don't have to sit closer to me, sit closer to Guru Sahib. So today's talk, Gurdwara di seva lai qurbaniyan kitiyan. That's what we'll be covering today. But let's all do Mool Mantra together, and then we'll start today's talk. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच पी सच आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच हम अवगुण परे एक गुण नाही अमृत छाड़ बिखै बिख खाई माया मोह परम पै भूले सुतदारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत तेह मिलंत जमत रास मिटाई एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुर रामदास राखो सरनाई एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुर रामदास राखो सरनाई वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Okay, Sangaji, so firstly, an apology for cancelling last week. I wasn't feeling too well, but it's the same talk, the same session, on this line that we read every day in when we do Ardaas, Gurdwara di seva lai qurbaniyan kitiyan. So we're talking about the sacrifice made in order to keep the Gurdwara Sahibs running. Gurdwara di seva lai qurbaniyan kitiyan. So qurbaniyan meaning sacrifice, a qurbani. So this sacrifice that was made in order to allow our Gurdwara Sahibs to continue running, the seva at our Gurdwara Sahibs to continue running. And the line speaks for itself, where we will speak today of Sikhs that serve the Gurdwara Sahibs by giving their life, by giving this qurbani, by giving this sacrifice. So what we'll be concentrating on is Saka Nankana Sahib, and we will look at what happened here, the loss of life, and how we are remembering those good Sikhs in our Ardaas every day. So the first question is, where is Sri Nankana Sahib? So we're speaking of Saka Nankana Sahib, so my question to you, Sangaji, is where is Sri Nankana Sahib located? Geographically, where is Sri Nankana Sahib? Pakistan? It's Pakistan, yeah. So, Sri Nankana Sahib falls into Pakistan. So after the partition in 1947, Sri Nankana Sahib went on to the side of Pakistan, but during Saka Nankana Sahib, Sri Nankana Sahib was still a part of Punjab. This big butterfly that we see here on the screen, that was all Punjab. And then when the partition happened in 1947, it was cut through the middle, and Sri Nankana Sahib and many other Gurdwara Sahibs then fell into Pakistan. So we will need to look at what happened before Sri Nankana Sahib and what events led to Sakka, this massacre taking place. So the next question is, why does Sri Nankana Sahib hold a special place in every Sikh's heart? That why is this place, this Asthan, why is it so special to us as Sikhs? Yeah, perfect. So it is the Prakash Asthan, it is the birthplace of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, our first Guru. And that's where it takes its name from, Nankana Sahib. So Sakka Nankana Sahib, this massacre, this killing, this where the Sikhs were slaughtered, it took place at this Asthan. It took place at the birthplace of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj on the 20th of February 1921. And when we visit many places in India, there's not just one Gurdwara Sahib or one Asthan. So this massacre, this Sakka that took place, it happened at Sri Nankana Sahib, that Gurdwara Sahib where Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj were born. There are many other Gurdwara Sahibs in the vicinity, many other Itihas like Bibi Nanaki Ji. They were born, they took Prakash. So like I said, let's have a look now at what kind of led to this massacre taking place. So we first need to take a look at the Gurdwara management system that we have in our Sikh Itihas and how this Sakka really relates to it. So if we take the Manji system, we've spoke about this before, Sri Guru Ardaas Ji Maharaj, they established the Manji system. So by Manjiyan, 22 Manjiyan across the whole of Punjab, the whole of India, where Parchar was done and the size of the Sikh congregation was increased. So within the Manji system, Guru Ardaas Ji Maharaj, they prepared males and female Parcharaks, and they sent them out to do this Parchar, to spread the word of Sikhi, and they would set up dharamsale. So it would be a place where Sadh Sangat would get together and the message of Sikhi could be spread. And the question that often comes up is what is the difference between a dharamsala and a Gurdwara Sahib? So a dharamsala is different to a Gurdwara Sahib because a Gurdwara Sahib is where Guru Sahib Ji Prakash, where the Guru resides. Whereas the Dharamsala, it's a place where you do Sadh Sangat, where you get together and you read Gurbani and you discuss Gurbani. Then after the Manji system, next came into place was the Masand system, and the Masand system was started and the Masandis were appointed. Now this came into place during the times of Sri Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, all the way up until Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Now the Masand system was started to meet the scarcity of funds at the time. So the Masandis, they had quite a large, broad role. They were kind of the management or the managers of the Gurdwara Sahib. They would collect money from the Sangat and they would ensure that money, that the swand would go towards the Golak of the Guru. And as well as that, Masandis would do Sikhi Parchar. Now, the Masand system, it worked very, very well, but there was some corruption. As always, they started taking control of the money that was given by the Sangat, and they would start keeping that money, and that money would no longer reach Guru Sahib. And some of the Masands even started doing alt Parchar, so Parchar which was against Sikhi, wrong Parchar, and it even went as far as them doing and taking advantage of people's families. Now, during the times of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, the Masand system was then introduced, and the Ardaasis then oversaw the management of the Gurdwara Sahibs. And they were called Mahants, right? So this Mahant was a position, was this title that was given. So it was an equivalent to a caretaker of the Gurdwara Sahib. It was similar to today's, you could say, Granthi. Very loosely, you could say, in today's day and age, like a Granthi Singh. So this Gurdwara Sahib here, any idea what Gurdwara Sahib this is? Hanji. Perfect. So it's Gurdwara Ganj Sahib in Delhi, as Benji said. And this is where our 9th Guru, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they gave their, after they gave their cease, their head, this is where their cease was cremated. So an example we can take of how this management was given over to the Mahants was where Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, after they left Anandpur Sahib, they first came to Delhi, they matha tekhed here at Sri Sisganj Sahib, and they gave the duty of taking care of this Gurukar, of this Gurdwara Sahib, to Mahant Guru Baksh Singh. And of course at this time, no physical swaroop of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji was kind of in place yet. It hadn't completely been compiled. But the duty of taking care of the Gurdwara Sahib and keeping the jyot lit. So a jyot is like a little lantern that we have at the Gurdwara Sahib. So to keep that fire lit, to keep that light lit, that was a responsibility that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave to Mahant Guru Baksh Singh. So this shows that Guru Sahib Ji, they had a very close relationship with the Mahants, a very good relationship. They were very close with the Mahants, and at this point not all of the Mahants were corrupt. But as we saw in the Masan system, corruption took place, and the same happened with the Mahants. Corruption started. So if we fast forward to the times of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, 1780 to 1839, many changes took place, many changes took place. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh took the responsibility of building many of the Itihasic Gurdwara Sahibs that we see now. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they would go to each of the Gurdwara Sahibs and they would meet with the Mahants, and they would ask the question that, what do you need? What does this Gurdwara Sahib need in order to sustain it, in order for it to keep running? Does it need money? Does it need land? So Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they took a huge role, a huge responsibility in making sure that these Gurdwara Sahibs were running effectively. Even if we look at Harmandir Sahib now, the gold that we see when we go for darshan, that gold was plated and put on Harmandir Sahib by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And if we take the case of Sri Nankana Sahib, Maharaja Ranjit Singh attached 19,000 acres of land to Sri Nankana Sahib. So after speaking to the Mahant at the time, this huge amount of land was given and was attached to Nankana Sahib. So now if we think about this, if us as an individual, we've been given the responsibility of a Gurdwara Sahib, a Gurukar, right? We've been put in charge of this Gurukar, and then now this huge amount of land has been attached to it. So we're now in charge not only of the Gurukar, but this, thousands of acres of land, and we have no one to answer to, right? No one checks in on us. No one is asking us what we're doing. There's bound to be some sort of greed, right? And this is exactly what happened. And this is what began to show with the Mahants. So back to Saka Nankana Sahib. So it took place, this massacre took place during the British Raj. So when the British took over Punjab and they took over the whole of India. So it's actually it's after the times of the Guru, and it's a little bit closer to what some of us may have thought. So the British began taking over the Gurdwara Sahibs, and they kind of worked hand in hand, kind of like a team with the Mahants. Something I found quite interesting was that when the British took over India, Punjab was one of the last states that they took over because of the Sikhs, because of what they'd heard of the Sikhs, because of what they knew the Sikhs were capable of. And as soon as they managed to take control of Punjab, they took control of the Gurdwara Sahibs, all of the Gurdwara Sahibs, pretty quickly, because they'd asked around and to find out what is fueling these Sikhs, right? Where do Sikhs get their strength from? Where do Sikhs get their power from? And of course the answer was Gurbani, Guru Sahib, and the Gurdwara Sahibs. So the British, they very quickly realized that they needed to control the Gurdwara Sahibs in order to control the whole of Punjab, in order to control the population of Punjab, and in order to control the Sikhs. So, as mentioned, as the Masan system got corrupted and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj abolished this, the Mahant system also corruption started during the British period, but you could say that it started even before then. So now the period of 1920 to 1925 is a very important period where a movement took place where the Gurdwara Sahibs a movement took place where the Gurdwara Sahibs were to be taken back from the Mahants. The control of our Gurdwara Sahibs was to be taken back. And this was a time of the Gurdwara reform movement. So very prominent movement during this time, as shown in the photo. It's where Sikhs got together to free the Gurdwara Sahibs from the control of not only the British, but also from the hands of the Mahants, who were initially given the seva of taking care of the Gurdwara Sahibs by the Pant, but after some time the Mahants made the Gurdwara Sahibs into their own personal property, and the sanctity of the Gurdwara Sahibs was being lost. And also, quite interestingly, it was at this time where an organization we all know worldwide, SGPC, Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, this is when SGPC was also started. So if we look now, 1919, Jallianwala Bagh, so the massacre that took place just outside the complex of Sri Harmandir Sahib. If you go to Sri Harmandir Sahib now, it's just where the shops are. There's actually a memorial there where you can see where bullets and how the Sikhs were massacred. So very quickly, for anyone that doesn't know, the Sikhs were gathering very peacefully, and the British opened fire and killed everyone that was there. Thousands and thousands of Sikhs. I think maybe 1,500, 1,000, something like that. They killed. They tried to escape. You had Sikhs trying to jump into wells to save themselves, but everyone in the vicinity was killed. And the British got away with this because the British realized not only do Sikhs get their strength and power from Gurdwara Sahibs, but it's also the gatherings we were having, so Sad Sangat. So they passed a law where we were no longer in Punjab, in India, able to have a gathering, to gather together. And this is what happened at Jallianwala Bagh. So it was a peaceful protest, but they used the excuse of it being a gathering to open fire and kill all of the Sikhs there. After this happened, after this massacre took place, the Sikhs said that, this is it, we've had enough, we're not going to keep quiet. And the Sikhs got together, and with this movement, they were able to successfully get back the governing authority of Sri Harmandir Sahib and successfully get back the governing authority of Akal Takht Sahib, which is huge. Because Akal Takht Sahib, if Akal Takht Sahib sends out Hukamnama Sahib, sends out an order, a message, Sikhs worldwide need to listen to that order and follow that order, right? And that was previously under control of the Mahants and the British. So getting the control back of Akal Takht Sahib was a huge success for the Sikhs during that time. The Hukamnama Sahibs were sent out to all of the Sikhs across Punjab from the movement to get together, to go to their local districts, their local areas, and to free the Gurdwara Sahibs. And from this, Sikhs formed small jathe, small groups, and they would go into different districts, different areas, peacefully protest against the Mahants. And for the Mahants to give back the keys to the Gurdwara Sahibs, to give back the control and the authority. And the Sikhs said that if they do not agree during these peaceful gatherings, peaceful protests, then the Sikhs would have no choice but to use force. And many of the Mahants feared the Sikhs, and so quietly gave back the keys to the Gurdwara Sahibs. Now, Nankana Sahib was a whole different story. Mahant Narayan Das was given the seva of Sri Nankana Sahib, and he was one of the Mahants who refused to give back the keys and to give back the authority of Sri Nankana Sahib, even though there were so many protests, so many groups, so many Jath had protested peacefully for him to give back the keys and the authority. And Mahant Narayan Das did some of the most unthinkable things within Sri Nankana Sahib, within the complex, which we'll look at in a second. He would rape girls, he would bring dancing girls into the Gurdwara Sahib, bring his own people, hooligans, thugs, into Nankana Sahib, and it was destroying the sanctity of the Asthan, right? We need to remember this was the birth Asthan, where Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj first came onto this world. They took Prakash. Now the Sikhs in the local area, after hearing of what Mahant Narayan Das was doing, got together and they would regularly peacefully protest. So Mahant Narayan Das would give back the keys and the authority, But he refused. Every single time he refused, and he threatened to kill the Sikhs that tried to take back the control. So before we look at the disgusting acts that Mahant Narayan Das was doing at Nankana Sahib, the question is that how did Mahant Narayan Das get this position within Nankana Sahib? How did he get this Mahant position? So the kind of top authority within Nankana, Sri Nankana Sahib. So two Mahants before Mahant Narayan Das, Sadram and Kishan Das, they were in charge. First it was Sadram, and then it got passed on to Krishan Das, and they were both alcoholics, indulging in meat, and both ended with horrible, horrible deaths. And these two Mahants were also already ruining the peace and the sanctity of Sri Nankana Sahib. And it was at this point where Mahant Narayan Das took the keys from Kishan Das and made a promise to the Sangat that I will not do anything of the sort of this kind of whatever these past Mahants have been doing. I will uphold the sanctity of this asthan. I will look after it. I will take care of it. And he took the keys and he said to the Sangat that if I do anything wrong, if I do anything that is against Sikhi, then you can take away my authority and you can take away the keys of Sri Nankana Sahib from me. So that's how Mahant Narayan Das got this position, such a high position at Nankana Sahib. He kind of just took it. So Gyani Pindarpal Singh Ji, they speak of some of the disgusting things that Mahant Narayan Das did at Sri Nankana Sahib, things that you are completely unthinkable. So the first is in 1917, he began bringing prostitutes, alcohol within the Nankana Sahib complex. So within the Darbar Sahib, within the complex. The next was to do with Bhai Buddha Singh and how his Kirtan was taken off and removed from Narayan Das's men under the order of Narayan Das. So Bhai Buddha Singh, he'd come to Nankana Sahib to do Ishnan in the Sarovar. And as you would when doing Ishnan, you tie your Kirtan to your head on your dastar. And Narayan Das sent his men to snatch or remove the Sikh's Kirtan. And when Bhai Buddha Singh said that, look, I'm an Amritari Sikh, I've come here for darshan, I've come here to do Ishnan, to bathe in the waters. Narayan Das stated that no Amritari Sikh was allowed to have Ishnan within the complex. So many of us have probably not been to Nankana Sahib, including myself, because of it being in Pakistan. But imagine if we went to Darbar Sahib, Sri Harmandir Sahib, and we were there trying to have Ishnan, and someone comes and takes our Kirpan off us, if we're Amritari, and says, you can't have this, and as an Amritari, you're not allowed to bathe here. Right? How hurt would we feel? How would we feel? So that's exactly what they did to Bhai Buddha Singh, who came to the birthplace, the birthasthan of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj for darshan and to have Ishnan, and this is how he was treated. Then the next was when 6 Bibiyan came to Sri Nankana Sahib for darshan on Puramashi. So Puramashi is on the day where we have a full moon. And those 6 Bibiyan were raped by Mahant Narayan Das and his men. And then in 1918, the rape of Bibi Rajani Ji, a 13-year-old, also took place at Sri Nankana Sahib. So in 1918, a Sindhi, and a Sindhi is a follower, a Premi, someone that has a lot of love for Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So this Sindhi, he was from Pakistan, and he had made this pledge that he would come to Sri Nankana Sahib and he would bring his whole family for darshan, for Shukrane di Ardaas, to thank Guru Sahib Ji following his retirement from his career of being a judge. So after retirement, he headed to Sri Nankana Sahib with his family, and upon arrival after darshan, he requested from Narayan Das's men that please can we get a room to stay in for the night. They were given a room, but the room had no light. And there was a little lamp present in the room, but the lamp had no oil, so there was no light. They raised this to Narayan Das's men, and the men said that the daughter, the 13-year-old daughter, Bibi Rajni Ji, the judge's daughter, that had come as part of the family, they said that we'll take her and we will give her the oil, and she can bring the oil back, you can put the oil in the lamp and you'll have light. And they agreed because they were at the birthplace. You probably think I keep saying it, they were at Sidi Nankana Sahib. Why would anything of this sort happen at Sidi Nankana Sahib, right? So that were the thoughts. They sent their 13-year-old daughter with these men. And Narayan Das and his men, Shamda Sama, during Rahra Sahib, raped this 13-year-old girl. And again, Ibn Dipal Singh Ji even said that because of Rahra Sahib being played through the speakers, you couldn't hear the poor girl screaming and crying. The daughter then came back and cried to her mother, told her mother what had happened, told the family what had happened, and the judge, the father, then confronted Narayan Das of what he'd done. And Narayan Das told him to keep quiet, otherwise he would cut up all of the family members and they would all be left for dead. So then Narayan Das then stated that they would keep the daughter for the night in a separate room, and the family would have to stay in a different room, in a separate room. And then the next morning when the family were to head back to Pakistan, they were going to catch a train back. They said that we will drop your daughter off to the station and that's where you can meet her. Tonight she's going to stay in a different room. So all through the night, family cried and cried and cried that what had happened to the daughter, the rape, the honor. And then it's the next morning when the family went to the train station and Narayan Das's men dropped the daughter off, and then they went back to Pakistan. Then the judge, 2 years later, I believe, or a year later, in 1919, went to a conference. And at this conference, there were many Sikhs that had gathered, and he spoke about what had happened, tried to speak about what happened to his daughter, burst out into tears. And he asked 3 times that, are there any Sikhs left? Ki Sikh hai ki nahi, ki Sikh hai ki nahi, ki Sikh hai ki nahi? Asked 3 times. And he explained that, look, I went to Sidi Nankana Sahib to do Shukrane di Ardaas. He had so much prem and love for Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And in return, I go there and my daughter's honor gets taken away, right? And all of the Sikhs that were there hearing this, they were filled with pain, they were filled with biras, and they said that they would bring an end to this Mahants rule, to the rule of Mahant Narayan Das. So now if we look at the details of Nankana Sahib itself, the massacre. So the Gurdwara reform movement and the SGPC tried countless times to organize meetings with Narayan Das to peacefully take the authority back, right? They didn't want to kill him or use arms. But every single time, they'd organize these meetings and Narayan Das wouldn't even turn up to the meetings. So a few days prior to the massacre taking place, the leaders of the Gurdwara reform movement, SGPC, they got together and they found out that Mahant Narayan Das will not be at Sidi Nankana Sahib at the Gurdwara Sahib on the 20th of February. So they decided that let's get a few jathe together, let's get a few groups, organizations together, and let's peacefully march to Sidi Nankana Sahib and take over the Gurdwara Sahib in his absence. Let's take over Sidi Nankana Sahib whilst Mahant Narayan Das isn't there. However, Bhai Avtar Singh, right? So this was a Sikh that was embedded in Narayan Das's men, you could say, like an informant. And he would send information back and forth to the Gurdwara reform movement, to the different jathe. There was Bhai Kartar Singh Ji, Bhai Lachman Singh Ji. Those are the 2 that we'll speak of. So he found out that Narayan Das had cancelled his plans to go to leave Nankana Sahib on the 20th of February, and he was planning on killing Sikhs on that day. So he was going to kill any Sikhs that were within the vicinity of Sidi Nankana Sahib, and had even hired thugs to kill the Sikhs. And Bhai Avtar Singh, when they found out of this news, when they sent word to Bhai Kartar Singh. So 19th of February 1921, the day before the massacre took place, they find out about Narayan Das's plan, and the leaders of the movement do, and the leaders send out an order to the Jathe, to the organizations, so the group or the Jatha of Bhai Kartar Singh and the group Jatha of Bhai Lachman Singh to cancel the march to Gurdwara Nankana Sahib because there was a threat to life, because Narayan Das was planning to kill the Sikhs. And Bhai Kartar Singh, they followed the orders, they followed what the Gurdwara Reform movement had said, but Bhai Lachman Singh and their Jatha of approximately 200 Sikhs had already done Ardaas and had already taken Hukamnama Sahib from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So Bhai Lachman Singh said that he and the Jatha will not be turning back. They will continue forward and they will be marching to Sri Nankana Sahib. So if we just quickly look at the Hukamnama Sahib that Bhai Lachman Singh and their Jatha received on the day, they got this Hukamnama Sahib, koi aan milave mera pritam pyara hotis peh aap vijai. That please can someone, if we quickly translate it, please can someone help me meet my beloved, meet WhyGuru Ji, hotis peh aap vijai. And to that person I will give everything, I will sell myself, I'll give everything I have. Darsan har dekhan kehtai. That having your darshan, that seeing you, I've been longing to see you. Kripa karhe ta Satguru mele hai har har naam te ai. That when WhyGuru Ji do Kripa karhe ta Satguru mele hai, that's we're able to meet the Satguru, the true Guru, har har naam te ai, and through this we'll be able to meditate on WhyGuru Ji's name. Je sukh dehe ta tujhe aradi dukh pi tujhe te ai. That if WhyGuru Ji, if you give me sukh dehe ta tujhe aradi, that through this sukh, through this happiness, tujhe aradi, I will still remember you, I'll still meditate on you. Dukh pi tujhe te ai, that even in dukh I will still remember you. Je pukh dehe ta itahi raja dukh vich sukh manai. That WhyGuru Ji, if you give me pukh, if you give me hunger, that itahi raja, I will still feel full, I will still feel satisfied. Dukh vich sukh manai. And through any kind of dukh, any kind of pain, I will still celebrate sukh, happiness. Now this line, Tan man kaat sab arpi vich agni aap jalai. That Tan meaning body, man meaning mind, kaat sab arpi, that I will cut my mind and I'll cut my body into pieces and I will offer them to you, sab arpi vich agni aap jalai. And I will burn myself, I'll put myself on fire for you, WhyGuru Ji, as a sacrifice. And this is exactly what happened on that day, when on the 20th of February 1921, when those Sikhs got to Sri Nankana Sahib, Tanaman Ghat Sab Arpi, which Agni Aap Jalai. And that's why Bhai Lachman Singh said that, no, we're not turning back now. We've taken a Hukamnama Sahib. Guru Sahib Ji have told us what to do, what's going to happen, and we're going to continue. So, on the morning of the 20th of February, Bhai Lachman Singh and the Jatha arrive at Sri Nankana Sahib. And there are many Sikhs within the complex. Inside the Darbar Sahib, the Sikhs arrive very early morning and they sit and they do Asakivar and they're reading Gurbani. And they believe that Mahant Narayan Das isn't present. So a lot of the Sikhs, they sit in the Darbar Sahib, and Bhai Lachman Singh, they sit on the tabia of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. At this point, the Sikhs were unaware that Narayan Das was still at the Asthan. And Narayan Das's men were on the rooftop and they were surrounding the complex, armed. And Narayan Das then took this opportunity to close the doors of the complex, and he ordered his men to open fire on all of the Sikhs within the complex. Many of the Sikhs got shot, they got slaughtered, they got killed. The Darbar Sahib doors were opened, everyone in the Darbar Sahib was killed, completely slaughtered. Bhai Lachman Singh, who was sitting on the tabia of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, they covered Guru Sahib Ji with their body to try and protect Guru Sahib Ji, but they got shot, they got killed. And so did the Sarup of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj that was present on that day at Sri Nankana Sahib. The Sikhs overall killed, slaughtered, and Bhai Lachman Singh, they were hung upside down on a tree that you can still see Sri Nankana Sahib, and they were burnt. So exactly as the Hukamnama said, Tanamana Ghat Sab Arpi, which Agni Aap Jalai, that these Sikhs, by Lachman Singh, they gave their mind, their body, they gave this sacrifice, which Agni Aap Jalai, that even burnt their body, and they gave this sacrifice to Guru Sahib Ji, showing how important and how powerful a Hukamnama Sahib from Guru Sahib Ji really is. So, events following, the Sikhs demand the keys of Sri Nankana Sahib back. The Sikhs heard of the news, as did the Commissioner of Lahore, and everyone gathered at Sri Nankana Sahib. By Kartar Singh, one of the initial Jathe that was supposed to march, but didn't after they found out what Narayan Das was planning, got many thousand Sikhs together, a few thousand Sikhs together, and they also arrived at Sri Nankana Sahib. And by Kartar Singh, they demanded the keys of Sri Nankana Sahib. They demanded they be returned to the Sikhs, and otherwise they were ready to give their lives there and then. And by Kartar Singh, they came armed, and this was the difference between by Kartar Singh Ji on that day and by Lachman Singh's Jatha, when they had arrived on the 20th of February to peacefully protest. They weren't armed, right? As Sikhs, we live by this rule that we will peacefully protest, and then pick up weapons when all other options have been exhausted, right? And this is what happened. So by Kartar Singh, they knew that all other options had been exhausted, right? All the disgusting things that were happening at Sri Nankana Sahib. Now, over 200 Sikhs had been killed. There's actually no number on how many Sikhs were killed that day, because Narayan Das and his men had burnt the bodies of the Sikhs. So we can't actually put a number on how many Sikhs were killed on the 20th of February 1921. So by Kartar Singh Ji, they turned up with these a few thousand Sikhs armed with weapons, and this is when the British turned up. So when the Sikhs were holding weapons, the British turned up. So all these meetings that the SGPC, the Gurdwara Reform Movement, tried to organize, the British never helped. The British never stepped in, never turned up, right? Even the day before, when Bhai Lachman Singh arrived with their Sikhs to peacefully protest, the British still didn't get involved. But it was this day where the Sikhs had arrived armed with weapons, with guns, where the British turned up. To avoid then any more bloodshed, the commissioners were already getting a lot of criticism. The news of what had happened at Nankana Sahib had spread to Delhi, had spread to London. So they were getting a lot of criticism from the British government for these events that took place at Sri Nankana Sahib. So the keys were handed to Bhai Kartar Singh Ji, and they captured by Mahant Singh and his men to punish them for what they had done to Sri Nankana Sahib and to the Sikhs. So all the Sikhs that were made Shaheed on that day, on the 20th of February 1921, at Gurdwara Sri Nankana Sahib, were cremated by Kartar Singh Ji and their Jatha. Again, like I said, there's no exact count on how many Sikhs were killed that day because of the bodies being burnt by Narayan Das's men. And this is just an image of the tree that is still there, present at Sri Nankana Sahib, where Bhai Lachman Singh were hung and they were burnt. So we can see this if visiting Nankana Sahib. You can have darshan of this tree. And finally, final slide now. During the Ardaas, when we say this line, so running back to this slide from the start, Gurdwara di seva le qurbaniyan kitiyan, this is who we're remembering. We're remembering Bhai Lachman Singh and all of those Sikhs that lost their lives on that day, on the 20th of February 1921. The qurbani they gave, the sacrifice they gave to ensure that the Gurdwara Sahibs could continue running as they should, and to preserve the sanctity of the Gurdwara Sahibs. Thank you everyone for listening. I made many mistakes during today's talk. If you have any questions, please ask Sukhdeep Singh. लेखे कतहन छुटिए खिन खिन भूलनहार वक्सनहार वक्सले नानक पार उतार वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह
WhyGuru. Thank you, Ji. Any questions from anyone? Hanji.
What was the fate of Ardaas on that day? Was he captured and killed or punching?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. He was definitely captured, and he was captured at that time because, like we said in the talk, the Sikhs came armed this time. I said they were going to capture him, so he was punished, but I'm not sure what the specifics were. But I can find out for you and come back to you. But it wasn't actually said in any of the books or the Ardaas that we listened to what actually happened to him. But again, and so I missed a bit. I had to pop outside. But if it was already mentioned that the reason why Narayan Das was able to get away with a lot of this stuff is because he's been supported by the government at the time, the British at the time, right? Hence why he's able to get away with all that stuff. And it's only when the Sikhs picked up the arms that the officials came in, like that was mentioned, right? Because before that, the Sikhs went many times, I'm sure it was mentioned, to protest, and he would either not turn up or it would be ignored. But it's only now when the Sikhs actually picked up the arms that the officials had to deal with this situation, right? And hence it was dealt with. But in terms of what happened to him, I'm not sure, but we can try and find out for you. Tika, any other questions? Tika ji, that's fine. What we thought we'd do now, just to finish up with the Kirtans, about 10 minutes left, I think, because downstairs Samadhi's happening, is that I did a benti to Penji if she will actually sing the Shabad, because that was the Hukunama Sahib that was given at that time, and it'd be nice to just sing along to it as well. So hopefully we'll get the Shabad up on the screen as well, so everybody can take part. Again, if there's any questions, anything you guys want to ask afterwards, any concerns, you can always come up to us. Otherwise, thank you again for coming to this talk. Next week, there will not be Ardaas course. Next week is the 27th or 28th? 27th, I think, of October. And we've got a special program downstairs in the memory of Kavi Santokh Singh Ji. Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, a great scholar, poet. Next week, we've got a program downstairs from 6 till 8:30. And the week after is Nagar Kirtan. So there's Nagar Kirtan and all is manic, right? Nobody wants to stay from 10 till 8 in the evening. So there'll be Shutti as well. So we'll be back on the 10th of November with our Ardaas course. And on the 17th of November, we've got Bhai Man Singh Ji coming down as well. Do you talk if you guys know who Bhai Man Singh Ji is? And we'll be launching the Japji Sahib Jap on that day as well on the 17th of November. But we're back on the 10th. But let's finish with some Kirtan, and then we'll go with Guru Sahib Ji down to Sachkhand. ठीक है जी? Thank you guys. WhyGuru जी का खालसा, WhyGuru जी की फतेह.
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह कोई आन मिलावा मेरा प्रीतम प्यारा कोई आन मिलावा मेरा प्रीतम ਵਿੱਚ ਸੂ